I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. The Educator Effectiveness Committee comes to order. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Appel. Dr. Armstrong. Mr. Birkin. Mr. Castile. Ms. Champagne. Dr. Clark. Mr. Harris. Mr. Hollis. Ms. Holloway.
Here.
Ms. Mellering. Mr. Morris. Ms. Altier. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item,
Your
please.
consent agenda is ready for approval, adding items 2.1, 4.1 through 4.19, and 5.2 through 5.4.
Great. All right. Motion, please. Kevin Perkins, please. Seconded by Sharon. Thank you. Any comments? Any opposition? No report? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Your first item is on page 5, item 3.1, consideration of revisions to bulletins regarding criminal background checks and praxis exams. The recommendation is to approve as a notice of intent revisions to bulletins 741, 741 non-public, and 746.
Motion, please. Mr. Harris. Thank you, Ms. Simone. Champagne. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion carried. We have to go.
Next item.
Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 108, item 5.1, consideration of executive session regarding discussion of the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of a person. The recommendation is to convene executive session.
Motion, please. I'm sorry. Motion first. Yeah. Ms. Stacy Mellerin, and seconded by Mr. Preston Castile. Any public comments? Thank you. Yeah, here it is. In order for this motion to pass, 2/3 affirmation vote of members present is required. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Appel? Yes. Dr. Armstrong? Yes. Mr. Birkin? Yes. Mr. Castile? Yes. Ms. Champagne? Yes. Mr. Harris? Yes. Mr. Hollis? Yes. Ms. Holloway?
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Mellering?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Morris? Yes. Dr. Clark? Yes. Motion passes.
Thank you. I will advise the audience that we will be going into executive session for the length of time necessary for the discussion. No votes will be taken while the committee is in executive session. All votes will be made public. Additionally, public disclosure is not required of matters discussed in a properly held executive session. At this time, the Educator Effectiveness Committee meeting stands in recess to go into executive session. Thank you for waiting. Can I get a motion to reconvene the Educator Effectiveness Committee meeting and continue with the regular order of the agenda to vote on the items discussed in executive session? Motion, please. Paul Hollis, seconded by Lance Harris. Thank you. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 158, item 5.5, consideration of a records review regarding the reinstatement of a Louisiana teaching credential appropriate to the credentials of Ms. Shirley Adams. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
Motion. Someone making a motion on 5.5 with Ms. Shirley Adams, please. Grant, deny, or what's the other word?
Defer.
Defer.
Five 5.5, Ms. Shirley Adams, grant, deny, or defer.
1 second, everyone. Sharon Clark, please.
I make a motion to accept her.
Grant.
I need a second, please. To grant.
I'm
To
sorry,
grant. Second. Ms. Simone Champagne. Board members, just hold, please.
I'd like to change that motion and make the motion to deny.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Motions to deny, Ms. Simone Champagne seconds it. Board members, any questions? Any opposition? All in favor? All right. Motion passed. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 177, item 5.6, consideration of a records review regarding the issuance of a Louisiana teaching credential appropriate to the credentials of Ms. Bessie Alexander. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
Motion, please.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
is it okay or possible from 5.6 to 5.11 to take them in globe?
Yeah, we could do that.
We sure can.
Motion to approve, to grant?
Wait 1 second. There's a question about that. Hold on a second. I love this. We were discussing. Trying to figure it out. I'm sorry. Okay. Kevin, Mr. Perkins, can you please repeat?
So I was asking from 5.6 to 5.11 to, if we could take them,
In Globo.
yeah,
Grant all.
and I would make a motion to grant,
In Globo, all of,
yes.
5.6 through 5.11, through 5.11.
a second,
We need
please?
a second.
There's questions, please.
My question is on 5.8. I wanted to make a motion to deny that.
Thank you. Mr. Perkins, do you want to go back?
So we take them individually?
Yes, sir.
Withdraw my motion.
Which one are we?
All right, so we'll go to 5.6, Ms. Bessie Alexander. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
Mr. Perkins? Motion to grant, second it, please. Yes, Ms. Stacy Mellerin. And any questions? Any opposition? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 196, item 5.7, consideration of a records review regarding the issuance of a Louisiana teaching credential appropriate to the credentials of Mr. Kevin Coleman. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
Motion, please.
Motion to grant?
Second, Ms. Simone Champagne. Any opposition? Motion carried. Next
Your
item.
next item is on page 214, item 5.8, consideration of a records review regarding the issuance of a Louisiana teacher credential appropriate to the credentials of Ms. Shelby Davis. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
Motion, please.
Motion to deny?
Motion to deny. I need a second. Ms. Judy Armstrong. Any opposition?
Any opposition to that?
Pardon? Ms. Judy Armstrong.
Okay.
Motion carried. Next item.
Your next item is on page 225, item 5.9, consideration of records review regarding the reinstatement of Louisiana teaching credential appropriate to the credentials of Ms. Rognisha Elliott. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
Motion? Motion to grant. Ms. Stacy Mellerin, second. Ms. Champagne. Any opposition? Motion carried. Next item.
Next item is on page 243, item 5.10, consideration of a records review regarding the issuance of a Louisiana teaching credential appropriate to the credentials of Ms. Aisha Metters. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
Motion, please. Grant by Ms. Champagne, second. Mr. Morris, thank you. Any opposition? Motion carried.
All right, your
Next
next
item.
item is on page 258, item 5.11, consideration of a records review regarding the issuance of a Louisiana teaching credential appropriate to credentials of Mr. Paul Orr. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
Mr. Preston Castile. Motion to deny, I need a second. Ms. Stacy Mellerin, seconds. Any opposition? Motion, I'm sorry. Mr. Perkins, you
Did not,
object. What would be, you're good with that? Good, thank you. He objects. Any other opposition? Motion carried.
all right, that concludes
Next
your
item.
agenda.
That is,
Okay. It's just one opposition. Mr. Birkin opposes. Usually if it's a bunch of objections. Okay, we can.
okay, well, I question any other opposition, so
We can.
You want to take a vote?
You can request a roll call vote.
You
That's
can
fine.
request it, but usually we just note it.
Roll call, please. We want to make sure. Thank you.
Make it clear that if you do a roll call vote, and there are more of us support the objection, then he will be granted the license.
Yes.
No, because no, it's denied. It was a deny, and he opposed that. He's the only one that opposed. Help me out.
So if
So,
there's-
Mr. Harris,
The vote is to deny, so.
The
you're
vote is to
voting- when we
deny.
ca-
Make it
When we call your
easy.
name, you are voting yes to deny or no to not deny.
Deny. Correct.
Yes. Right, we'll need another motion, yes.
Roll call, please.
May I speak just one quick second? So I have a family member who teaches at St. Ed's, and I just called and flat out asked, is he okay? And they said yes.
Roll call vote.
Best members, we're going to take a vote,
Yes, roll call vote.
and the motion is to deny, and there was a second. I'm sorry,
To deny, yeah.
to deny.
Mr. Appel? No. Dr. Armstrong? Yes. Mr. Birkin? No. Mr. Castile?
yes.
Yes. Ms. Champagne? Yes. Mr. Harris? No. Mr. Hollis? No. Ms. Holloway?
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Mallory? Yes. Mr. Morris? No. And Dr. Clark? Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries.
Motion carries to deny, to deny. Next item, please.
And that concludes your agenda.